Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. As I was looking through some of the memos for this, I'm just going to read from the majority memo here. It says the federal government also has an incentive to settle disputes rather than contest the fee award to reduce the overall attorney's fees that may accrue. This allows plaintiffs to prevail on process instead of substance. Worse yet, because the U.S. often fails to adequately contest EAJA fees and regularly concedes prevailing party status to NGOs in settlement agreements, taxpayer dollars effectively fund these nonprofits' sue and settle tactics. EAJA caps reimbursable attorney's fees at a rate of $125 per hour unless the reviewing court or agency determines that, quote, an increase in the cost of living or a special factor, such as the limiting availability of qualified attorneys for the proceedings involved, justifies a higher fee. The statute, however, does not sufficiently define special factor, allowing many environmental lawyers to avoid the $125 per hour fee cap by claiming that their expertise is specialized. Consequently, environmental NGOs have been reimbursed for attorney's fees as a rate as high as $500 an hour. Now, I sit here and I get lectured from other folks on the other side of the aisle about how they're for the little guy all the time. We're asking my mother-in-law, who's on a fixed income and pays taxes, to pay her taxes to fund a $500 per hour attorney through this scam and a $200 million environmental group. She's subsidizing them. That's the reality of this. That's a government-approved shakedown. That's exactly what it is. EAJA was originally designed to help ordinary citizens who successfully challenged government overreach recover their legal costs. It recognized that not every veteran or retiree has the resources to take on the federal government. We've heard about that. But radical environmental groups have exploited EAJA and environmental laws to turn litigation into a business model for policy achievement. Specifically, they've exploited the nonprofit exemption in the EAJA statute to continuously launch frivolous lawsuits, regain attorney's fees, whether they win, whether they lose, or whether they settle. It's the inside lawyerly game that's played. These groups aren't held to the same rules everyone else has to follow. Environmental serial litigants can bypass the 500 employee cap and the $7 million in revenue limit because of the blanket nonprofit exemption. We've heard in today's testimony that these environmentalists aren't particularly successful on the merits. It's process that they're after. Their lawsuits function more as delay tactics against projects they oppose ideologically, rather than efforts to hold the federal government accountable for genuine, actual failures. Mr. Wilkinson, your testimony highlights another important issue. These serial litigants use lawsuits to fuel fundraising. Mr. Wilkinson, how do NGOs use these lawsuits to fundraise for policy efforts on the state level?
Thank you. You know, when you look at the facts behind the hyperbole that goes on, you can rapidly see where environmental NGOs sit there and gin up their credibility based upon the fee awards and their repetitive lawsuits. And if that isn't to raise revenue, that's the very definition of it. And I find your point, Congressman, very well taken, because we shouldn't be trying to promote a system that allows an organization that's exempt from the rest of the rules to be able to go out and continue with frivolous lawsuits.
Yeah. The war chest of these serial environmentalists are built off the lawsuits has allowed them to wreak havoc in my home state of Colorado. They pushed wolf reintroduction against the wishes of the Colorado Parks and Wildlife, the actual wildlife managers. They're pushing for an end to coal power, and just recently, groups like the Sierra Club are pushing Public Utilities Commission in Colorado to kill natural gas for homes by 2050. Again, making my mother-in-law on a fixed income pay higher rates for utilities so that they can recover these fees. I mean, this thing's a scam. It's a scam. There's no doubt about it. Well, Mr. Chairman, I'd ask for unanimous consent to insert an article into the record from the Colorado Sun detailing the work of NGOs that sue on the federal level to raise money to push for extreme actions on the state level.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you. With that, I'll yield back.
Gentleman